Hey, Ty Brady here with Brady Insurance Marketing in the Ty Brady Way, one of the nation's largest field marketing organizations that helps independent agents achieve a 6- and 7-figure income with the systems and strategies that I'm going to talk about with you today. Welcome back to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. Today we have Matt Mortensen here on the show. You know, we had to do a retake on this one because we did it a while ago, and I know you guys saw a short reel, so I'm excited. I've been trying to get him on the show and get on the schedule, but we finally got it done. So you have to go watch a short reel and then listen to the whole story here. Matt, for those people that may not know you, what's a little bit about your history and background and where you've come from and where you're at today?
Wow. So I am Utah for life. Never been anywhere else. I started my sales career in 2000, I guess, 1999, 2000. Started selling homes, sold construction materials, and then transitioned into insurance after Ty, finally convinced me that this would be a good thing. I think it probably took him a little over a year to finally convince me to jump in and do this. And I finally did it, and I'm very glad I listened to him and took the leap. So
I remember one of those things. You're like, Ty, it just sounds too good to be true. You're like, how is that feasible? How is it? I'm like, you got to come look at it. It's like, you just got to come look at it.
It totally was. And you got to realize that we're in Utah. We are the multi-level marketing empire of the world. And Ty started talking about renewals and you keep getting paid on the policy after you sell it. And I'm like, I've done, no knock on Amway. I've tried the Amway thing. I've heard this spill from all the different essential oils. I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm not doing it. It's not for me. Thus the year later, he finally convinces me that no, you're actually selling a product. You're not just selling a membership in something that you got to sell another membership. So, but it is legit. My wife was very skeptical as well. But as soon as she started seeing the renewal checks coming in every month, she's like, well, what's the problem? Why aren't you out doing more of this? Like get going. So, it took some time, but I'm here to tell you it is real. It's a real business that you're starting. And it's been a blessing for us.
So do you remember when that defining moment was after a year, like what you finally said, hey, I'm going to give it a shot? Because there's a lot of, I'm sure people that are listening, they're like, I've heard about it, but no, but
So my defining moment is I had gone back to school to finish my bachelor's degree. And I'm sitting there in class on the first day, and the professor announces you're going to all write, 4 papers. And you're also going to grade 4 papers of the other students. And I just sat there thinking, I am paying to do this guy's job for him. Like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm just going to go get a degree in insurance because, that's what I need. And that's when I pivoted, and it's like, I'm just going to go study for the insurance exam and do that. And,
But there was also a time when you sold real estate, right? You were a successful real estate agent, and
I did. The thing I loved about real estate was working with buyers. There was nothing better than taking, especially a first-time home buyer, walking them through that process, being there to hold their hand, make sure that everything was done correctly so that they didn't end up buying a money pit. The bad thing about that was as soon as you completed the sale, they didn't need you anymore, and you're basically unemployed. So that was tough to start. Every time you'd make a sale, it was like you were successful, and then you had to start all over again. And then we had the downturn of 2006 to 2007, and to go from the high of highs down to there's nobody getting mortgages, there's so much inventory, like what's going on? I wanted more stability. I didn't want to have to go through that again. At the same time, I was doing the construction sales, and so I had 2 industries that tanked at the same time. So waking up every morning going, I hope today's not the day, and I hope I can keep the roof over our heads is more stress than it was worth.
Man, I remember the call when I reached out to when I lost everything in 07, 08, I reached out to anybody and said, hey, any jobs, any this, any that, I'm available. And I remember you calling me up and say, hey, Ty, you might want to come interview for this job. It's a production lead deal. And I interviewed and I got turned down for that one. And he's like, well, I'll give you a shot at sales. And I'm still grateful to this day that opportunity was given to me because it provided means and food for my family.
for the next 5 years and, growing insurance in the meantime, at nights and weekends, I wouldn't have been able to do it any other way.
No, and I had to start part-time as well. This is a tremendous business, and the income potential is unlimited. It does take a lot to get it off the ground. You hear about all the baby boomers turning 65, and the potential is like none other that I can think of in the market. You do the numbers, you think about $6 million of commission that's available daily for the taking out there. But if it was that easy to walk around and pick up $100 bills, everybody would be doing it. It still takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of follow-up, and you're going to get turned down a lot. But the reward is definitely worth it. But jumping in, I would never tell somebody that had a family, or that even maybe not have a family, but you've got bills and you've got obligations, to jump in and just go for it, because there is a learning curve, and it will take you some time.
I mean, there are some people that have done it in 14 months. They jumped
Absolutely.
in and they've done it. But I think 3 to 5 years is what it takes most people. I'm going to say averages.
Yep.
to really figure it out. And one thing I think we pride ourselves on, we don't lose a lot of agents. I mean, usually when they come on board, because it's part-time, full-time, or sometime, and whether they write one policy a year or 150, it doesn't matter to us. If they're happy, we're happy.
Yep. And, the thing that I loved about Kellogg that I didn't get anywhere else. So if I back up a little bit, when I got my real estate license, they said, great, congratulations, join the brokerage. There was zero support. They all see me as like a threat. Like, who's the new guy? He's going to take the next deal. So, there was zero support from the other agents. Yeah, the broker was like, hey, yeah, come join the team, and I'll take whatever family and friend you have, and good deal. This industry is totally opposite. There is support. Ty's been with me every step of the way to support me, answer my questions. When I first started, Ron Kellogg was still around. He was, a fantastic mentor as far as how to do this, how to care for the clients. But his knowledge and wisdom and other agents in this organization, we are there to support each other. Like, we're competitive, but we're not cutthroat, if that makes sense. We're going to compete, but we're not going to, step on each other to try to get a piece of business.
There's no need to do it. It's like the law. It is the law of abundance. I was saying earlier on the show that I walked down the street yesterday evening, and 3 out of the 4 people I talked to, they asked what I did, and they're turning 65 this next year. Mm-hmm. They were like, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, 3 out of the 4. I mean, 1 in 5 was going to be is going to be over the age of 65 by 2029.
Yeah, and they all need help.
That's right.
They all are confused by the ads. They're getting it from every which way. I mean, they can't turn on the TV, turn on the computer without seeing some type of Medicare ad. And, to have a broker like ourselves that has every option in the market, that can go through every option, there's no benefit for us to direct them one way or another.
We don't care.
It all pays the same. It's just a matter of which booklet am I going to go out and get out of the back of my truck and sign them up with.
Yeah.
My whole goal is that I want them to be satisfied with what I have done for them so that they stay my client. I don't care if they're on United Healthcare 1 year and Humana the next year, and we move to an Aetna. If that's what they need, they're my client. And by doing that, what's best for them, you're going to retain that client and get referrals. And that's what it's all about. We're not a one and done, anything for a sell mentality. We want to be able to do the right thing. And sometimes the right thing is walking out without a sell.
And you know what? They always feel terrible. They're like, well, what can I do for the time you spend? Hey, if you got any friends or family or loved ones, have them give me a call.
Yep.
And you know what's interesting? It seems like those ones that always call you right around AEP, like, okay, now I'm ready to make a change because something changed. Or they have your number on speed dial because they know something changed and they want to talk to you. And they know that you provided a service and wasn't about the commission.
Yeah. I mean, if you put their needs first, your needs are going to be met. Guaranteed. I mean, it might not be a sell today, but it will be a sell tomorrow. I mean, I think, a lot of people we've talked to together, we couldn't help them. Back when we started, there wasn't all of these different options and different SEP codes. It was one plan or 2 plans in the county, and we had to figure it out. So there was a lot of that follow up and come back and start with an ancillary product. I built my book of business on dental, vision, and hearing.
Yeah.
Sold a ton of dental, vision, and hearing during the non-open enrollment months. and then had to go back and get the Medicare business next open enrollment. But it worked.
It sure did. So where do you see it going in the next 5 years or 10 years, Matt?
It's just going to keep getting better. Medicare Advantage plans are getting better across the nation. Commissions keep going up. We have more product offerings. We have, more people turning 65 than ever before. The sky's the limit. This truly is the next gold rush. It's the next, oil boom. You name it. But it's just getting in and doing the heavy lifting up the front, and you're going to reap the rewards in the back end.
The thing I love about the industry that I'm in is the people, their walks of life and their story and where they came from. And there's not two people alike.
No.
And it is so satisfying and rewarding. Any last thoughts you'd want to leave today?
I don't know if I mentioned it, but my only regret in this business is I didn't get into it sooner. I wish I would have started this business, and even instead of selling real estate, I wish I would have started this business 23 years ago. If you like to work with people, this is the business to be in. Like Ty said, there are so many amazing people out there that have such amazing stories. I've got some of the coolest clients that are just hard, tough people that went through tough times. I've got clients that are 100 years old. I think about, my gosh, what did they witness growing up? To sit down and talk to somebody that was a little kid and they didn't have indoor plumbing and like no lights, and they witnessed the invention of the TV and the telephone, and it's just amazing to get to connect with those people and be able to go back year after year, and then at that age you start helping their family, and it's just an amazing business that doesn't even feel like work. I would honestly do this. If I could do it without getting paid, I would do it, because it's something that is so enjoyable.
I think you and I we were somewhere in rural Utah, and there was two people we met. The guy that ended up hunting coyotes for the state and ranchers, and there was the other guy that spent a tour in Vietnam and was dropped off, and if he didn't meet his relocation team, he would be left there.
Yep.
And his job was to take pictures of the cartel,
the
drug cartel. He wasn't there for the war. He was there to track the drugs.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And then reunited with his high school sweetheart, 40 years later. And he's like, she's like, I thought he was dead. I mean, he had to go off the grid.
Yep. Yeah. To get to connect with people and hear their stories, go back year after year, talk to them, be able to help them, to actually be able to provide a valuable service to them and get paid to do it is, I truly believe I found my calling.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever retire.
Correct.
I don't see myself just not walking away one day. So yeah, it's been tremendous. The sky's the limit. I tell people you can work wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want, and for whoever you want in this business. So, you truly are your own boss. You don't have to carry inventory. You don't have to manage employees. You can totally be a solopreneur if you want.
Yeah.
And, have whatever level of income and security that you're after.
Yeah.
And like I say, you can do it in a year. You can do it in 3 years. Just get started. It doesn't matter. You don't have to jump in and do 60 hours, 80 hours a week. Do one night a week.
One night a week
and a weekend, and it's going to grow. And, eventually you'll be able to do what I did, and get the boat close enough to the dock that you can step off and, not have to take a swim for it and hope you make it. Financially speaking, but you're not risking everything to try to do it sooner than you should be able to do it. So
if someone wants to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you, Matt?
I am not on any socials right now. So
email? Good email address?
You'd have to email me. Mortensen, my last name, Mortensen1998 at msn.com is the best way. If you have any questions or need any tips, I'm happy to help and answer any questions.
Thank you, Matt, for being on the show.
Thank you.
As always, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. As always, share, like, and subscribe. Go to Instagram at ty.r.brady. And as always, love hearing from you. And let me know what you want to learn on the show or what you'd like me to bring up on the show. Thanks.
You can find the Ty Brady Way on Instagram as well as Facebook. To stay connected with giveaways and Ty himself, go ahead and follow at ty.r.brady on Instagram as well as Facebook. This podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Whitney Face Media Marketing. And the theme music is an excerpt from Hot Chicken of the Woods by Isaac Joel.